I wanted to talk about your guys that are out in the field. They are selling. Like they are selling. They are
Yeah.
getting money from the customer. They are saying, "Hey, this, that, and the other." And so, how have you trained that in your guys? How have you gotten them to be able to close? I mean, do you have like a closer in each crew who can close? Do you split up the sales guys? How does that work?
Yeah, so we run scenarios every single morning. So every
Oh,
single morning, our mornings start at 6:45 a.m. All the guys are in there, and someone is up for a scenario. So what that means is we have a full description. Like for example, one of the managers will be the client. Let's say I'm the client. I'll
mm,
have a full description of in the office. We'll just use the physical items in the office, the desks, the chairs, whatever the case is, paint,
mm,
tires, stuff like that. And then we'll have like pre-made objections or pre-made things that we're going to make complicated for whoever's doing the scenario to actually close the job. And
mm,
then it'll just be a live thing. So like they'll give the courtesy call. And we have a grading form. So there's 30 points that people have to hit. And then if they hit those 30 points, they pass the scenario. If they don't hit the 30 points, they don't pass the scenario. And we found that the guys who had the best numbers on the truck are the guys who hit all 30 points on that scenario. And the guys who don't close the best on the truck are the guys who can't hit those 30 points. And a
mm.
lot of times you're going to find out that the people that aren't hitting the 30 points, they don't think that the scenarios are important. They don't think that they need to be doing this. They don't think that these aren't realistic. The clients in real life are different. But it's not about that, because it's all about before the sale, how you're establishing value with the client, how you're building rapport with the client. So yeah, just live training every single morning. And then the guys, someone will go. After they go, everyone gives feedback on it. What did they do good? What did they do bad? And everyone talks, and then someone else will go. And that's just every morning. So if we hire new people, first day in the office, that's what they're seeing. They're seeing a live scenario, how things are supposed to be, how things aren't supposed to be.
Yeah, no, and it just creates that culture and that environment of just volume and repetition. Like that's one of the hardest things right now. I hired my wife full time, Carly, and she's doing sales calls and onboarding calls. And like I go into she's like, okay, how do you run a sales call? How does this work? And I'm just like, well, I just have like pretty much a response for every single objection because I've been on 1,500 sales calls with business owners, so I know like if somebody says something, there's nothing that someone's going to tell me that I haven't, overcome before or said. And so it's just that repetition where I'm sure your guys out in the field, they say X, Y, and Z, and it's just second nature. They're like, oh, we practiced this morning, there we go. And so how do y'all, if you don't mind digging into it, how do y'all compensate? Do y'all do some sort of incentive for sales and stuff like that for your guys, or how does that work?
Yeah, so basically, as you go throughout the day, the more revenue you do throughout the day, the more your commission will go up throughout the day. So it
Okay.
really incentivizes guys to work late too, and hit every job in the schedule.
Yeah.
A lot of times we get super busy and we got to move jobs back, and then what will happen is that if there's no incentive for the guys to want to hit those jobs, they'll either if the client was trying to cancel, they won't object to the cancellation. They'll just let it happen,
Yeah.
or they overquote a job to not have to do it or something like that. I mean, you have to have incentives for your guys to be able to make more money. But a big part of the incentives too isn't just sales. It's not just closing the most amount of money. It's the soft skills of the job. So like putting out yard signs, putting out door hangers, getting Google reviews.
Mm,
All of these are metrics that we track for every single person, because a lot of times you can't control the jobs in your schedule. You can't control if you get 4 couch pickups that are just single items. But what you can control is your effort on that. How are you putting the yard signs out? Are you getting the Google reviews on those jobs? Like we have guys that will go to these jobs and they're like some lady and they'll get like 3 Google reviews. Like they'll ask like her husband to leave one and her son to leave a review too. And it's like, yo, I just hit this job. It's got 4 Google reviews. And it's
yeah.
like, oh yeah, like incentivizing that for the guys. So
Yeah. So what's the biggest misconception when it comes to the junk removal industry?
yeah. So I think the number one misconception is that it's like an easy industry, or that it's some sort of like shortcut to a business. Every single business is the exact same. Like you have to build a process for getting new talent in. You have to build a process for training that talent. You have to build a process for serving your clients. Eventually your job is just building processes, not even doing the actual job itself, right?